Talking change, talking all that's real. With Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend.
Welcome, sisters, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora and anywhere else, any part of the world that you're reaching us, you're hearing us. Welcome to our program. We always encourage you to subscribe to our program. That would give our program a life to grow. That's what the technology requires. The more you subscribe to it, the wider the range of reach that we have. The number to call is 442-0175. You can get us on WhatsApp and on long line. And we are on Real FM 91.9, 91.5. We are on We Noise FM 94.9 in Brooklyn, New York. Welcome to our program. We never have a subject matter, so you're free to start in the center. Yeah. I perhaps will ask KJ to call us and tell us what is the monthly income of the Prime Minister of Grenada. We know that the ministers are bringing in a $24,000 income, their salary, plus the other $10,000 income that come to them to spend in their constituency as they see fit. So we want to know, what is the Prime Minister's haul? We have a Prime Minister that may well get the record for the poorest performing Prime Minister in Grenada. And he don't seem to care much about that. He's on his own rhythm, glamour, gallivanting, deceiving the public, telling lies, and very little respect for institution in this country. So I am convinced he could well get the marks for one of the poorest performing prime minister we have ever had in the country. KJ, if you don't have that information, perhaps you could find out. You have enough contacts at the higher level and provide some information for people. You have been asking us to give the Prime Minister some blight. And it's difficult because when we ask you for what, you're making some general statements without specifics. We try to ask you direct question, but you avoid it. So maybe you may feel it compelled to tell us what is the Prime Minister's income. We hear it is between $45,000 to $50,000 a month. But we're not certain. And the NDC is very reluctant to provide information. So that is one of the issues we wait and ask. We're still concerned about our sister Deborah Charles, the parliamentary representative for St. Andrews Northwest, has done great injustice to that sister. She tricked the sister. She deceived the sister. And she take away from her even what she did not have. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
You realize when the Prime Minister say, when they're hungry, you could buy them? Remember that word he said?
Yes, I think.
Yeah, when he say when they're hungry, you could buy them? Well, that's what the man doing. The man know them fellas and them hungry and they're greedy. So he buy vehicle for them and he brambling them. When we talk about, you see, give him a blight to go up in Canada and play a thing, the man know how to work these fellas and them. Them fellas is glad boy. Them fellas knows nothing about what's going on in the world. Nothing that going on in Canada. They just know they're living and they enjoying themselves with government money. And with taxpayers' money, not government money, taxpayers' money. And as we say, when you're hungry and greedy, you could buy them. And that's what happened to them ministers and them. So they have a good.
Yeah, they recently had a youth jubilee in Cape Verde. Young people was urged to reject the culture of bribery. That's where you have to start. You have to start with the young people in the country. You have to urge them to reject the culture of bribery. I always used to hear parents telling you, particularly women, you must not be too quick to accept gifts from people. Well, today in Grenada, it seems to be the policy of the government. The policy of the government. I spend a lot of time looking at the policy of the government. I said to an individual, if you have 4 or 5 political parties in a country, and I agree with the policy, it doesn't matter to me who wins. But it seems that this government have a very corrupt policy. And we always urge the young people to reject the culture of bribery. Very, very difficult for me. When you're prime minister of your country, name is associated with bribery. Because the prime minister seems to have a natural tendency to accept gifts. We were told that he accepted a gift for over 30,000 US. We were told that he accepted a gift of 1,000 cricket kits. You prime minister of your country must not go around the world accepting gifts. If a company want to give cricket kits, the prime minister might have lobbied for it. They donate that cricket kits to the Ministry of Education or the Ministry of Sports in your country, not the prime minister. When it comes in the prime minister's hand and the prime minister use it for political expediency, then that individual, the prime minister, would owe the person who gave him the gift. That is why we call it bribery. You see, no matter what institutions you have, for the institution to be reputable, the individuals have to have integrity. Otherwise, all our institutions would crumble in the face of a corrupt prime minister. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost that caller. All our institutions would be corrupted. We have already seen that a number of people who used to be the custodian of integrity and good governance have gone in a cocoon. So it's important for our voices. Yes, caller, welcome. All right, so this person may be having a little technicality. It is important for us to continue to encourage people, to urge people to stay away from bribery. In a small democratic country like ours, if the leaders lack integrity, if the leaders are low in morality, if the leaders are living glamorous life at the expense of somebody else, it makes them easy to be corrupted. We must never forget the butcher of the Congo. He ripped the flesh out of the backs of black people in the Congo, all because he wanted to live a glamorous life. You must never forget Michael de Freitas. He was once a civil rights leader, and he had occasion to speak to some of the prime ministers in the Caribbean. But then the glamorous life, he fell for it. He ended up committing murder. So when our politicians fall prey to glamorous life, they become easy to be bought on the market. I appeal to the journalists in Grenada, particularly the photogenic one, because I believe she has access to Deacon. In Taraba, in Nigeria today, you have them killing Christians. Deacon recently visited Taraba. He has not said to us what he went there for. Taraba state was a state that you had a lot of conflicts. And Deacon visited Taraba. I don't know if he gave them or if he participated in distributing green bags. So our journalists should be curious and probe him, particularly in light of what is going on in Nigeria today. Does Deacon express solidarity with the Christians? Or is Deacon supporting to kill the Christians? You don't know. Because I say to you, the socialist progressive, the Marxist Leninists, the communists, and the Islamic radicals have formed a working relationship. We must not continue to sleep. We must ask questions. We must also ask the question to Peter David to justify why he become an agent selling passport. Based upon the information we are hearing, and these people are very silent, so they don't want us to know. But it's difficult in this period of time when the technology is so great. We're able to find out information much quicker than we would have found out in yesteryear. So we have information that Peter David now is now selling passport. Is that not a betrayal to some of the soldiers I see around him pushing the movement? Is it not a betrayal? Peter David has not started to lead yet, and he started to make underhand deal. For him to have been counted as an agent selling passport, it means that Peter David made a deal with Deacon Mitchell. Deacon Mitchell is the only one to give that authority. And as a politician, you should not, you ought not to be an agent selling passport. We complain with great regularity because several members of the NDC hierarchy was agents selling passport are involved in their companies selling passport. We heard the name of Deacon Mitchell. We heard the name of Andrea St. Bernard. We heard the name of Dennis Cornwall. Agents selling passports. And we ask the question, if these individuals are involved in selling passport, who is going to do the check and balances? Because the Prime Minister, the Minister of Finance, they are the one to do the check and balance. But if your company is selling passport, if you are the agents, you cannot be the chief cook and bottle washer. This is unethical. It is a conflict of interest. We told you how disappointed we was that Richard Duncan seems to be part of the hierarchy of the NDC. He should object to that. We have great respect for Richard Duncan, and because of his position, we feel that he is bound and compelled to object. Otherwise, he will lose his credibility as a professional. Remember, Richard Duncan was in FROC. He was responsible for monitoring the economic discipline of the NNP. The NNP went to the NDC camp and they choose an individual who is well capable to monitor their economic discipline. And that was a very good thing. It means that you're full of confidence, that you want to do what is right, and you wanted to provide information readily for the public. So you went to pick up somebody who is against you to monitor your economic discipline. I thought that was fantastic. I complimented the NDC, the NNP, and I say you're on the right track. So now I'm disappointed that a man of the caliber of Richard Duncan could be involved with this group led by the corruptor-in-chief. And he's not advising them that what they're doing is a conflict of interest. It is unethical. It is immoral. It is not good example for the country. And it encourages corruption. Now that Peter David is also an agent to sell passport, it baffles the mind. And I know some of the close individuals from Peter David, with Peter David in the movement, they must be puzzled. 1 month before you launch a party, you seem to envelope in corruption. You seem to envelope in a process to deceive the public. And I have always been suspicious of Peter David. Peter David is a nice fellow. People like him. But he has been in the political parties. And I was never satisfied that Peter David gave of his best. While he was in the political party, I've always been concerned that this individual is not giving of his best. I heard the cry of another brother who said, they're playing snake in the grass. It's not the time. They're waiting and see. So although they're on both, but they are not helping direct or obey instruction. They're just doing enough work to survive. I remember having heated discussion with that. And when Peter David was brought into agriculture, I was challenged. 6 months after, those that challenged me agreed with me. Peter David had not done anything more than the ordinary in agriculture. In fact, he went on a fact-finding mission that never ended. And I was convinced that this individual was not doing his best. And I spoke on it on many occasions when you have individuals in a political party. Yes, caller, welcome.
Welcome, Mr. What's your name again?
Yeah, on target. Let's go.
On target, yeah. Well, I don't know. It seems to be. It's like any political party. Become any political party that is in office then, right? In Grenada here. Give me some more. It's supposed to be a problem. Well, I just wonder, what it is. I mean, what the problem is then? What is the problem? What is really the problem? Because to me, like, if A come B, B is a problem. If B come A is a problem. When C comes Z it's like it's like on and on and on and on.
Caller,
yeah?
you don't believe when you lead a political party, people should be able to ask you a question and you must answer, so that the people would know why they follow you, where they're going with you. You don't believe that should happen?
Yes, but what
are you satisfied that Peter David is providing enough information for us?
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying to you, sir, is that anybody commits sin.
No, caller, listen, caller.
I'm listening to you, sir.
Caller, if we have to get it right, we have had the past. We had Eric Geary.
Yes.
We had Mr. Blaze.
Yes, I mean,
we had
a number of them. Yes.
Yes, but now today we have a new political party in place, and it seems that they are guarding jealously information. We don't know the direction of the party. The party says a movement, but the party should glad to answer the questions we are asking. You don't feel so?
Well, of course. But what I'm saying, but listen, yes, I listen to you, but you listen to me now. Any one of them it seems to be a problem with a great number of people. And I ask myself the reason why. I mean, why, what I'm saying is, listen, revolution is a problem for listen, the thing about it is, I remember well, right? I remember well, Mr. Pierre, just spare me 1 or 2 minutes here, please. I remember well, during the revolution, people used to say, Lord, this is a communist government, people don't have the chance to vote, they take away people's rights, they should have election. We should have democracy, not communism, and so on, and whatever. So now we out of communists. It's no more bishop. It's no more communism. It's no more whatever. Now we have democracy. Now is another thing again. So what is the issue then?
Then, caller, let me tell you what is the issue. Caller.
Yes,
let me tell you what is the issue. Every time a party come, we want better for Grenada.
Yes.
And caller, if the party is seeking our interests, they must not be afraid to share information with us. And I believe that they're not Pierre, sharing information.
But Mr. Pierre, but okay, without any biases and without them, the previous party was the same problem too.
So that is why it's so important. Caller.
Yes, Mr.
If
Pierre,
the thing was wrong in the past, do you mean that we must continue on the same trajectory?
Of course not. Of course not.
Thank you.
Okay, but I don't try to be too long. I don't try to be today. But I just say. But listen, I'm just. You there?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just making a little suggestion here, right? Any one of these political parties, right? Offering up themselves for office, right? I wonder if they would, or maybe it should be in law that people should hold them to their word, right? That if they say they're doing A and they don't do it, they should be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law for it. I think if that, and listen, and that, I'm not talking about no particular party now, anybody, be it Z, Y, Q, Z, H, be it who, it doesn't matter.
Thank you, Colin.
So I think that should be, that should be implemented. If this implemented, I think, the the partisan and them the parties that is vying for power or whatever, they would be more serious with the word, and they will know that look, they have to be serious with the word and be serious with the people.
Thank you, Colonel.
Good.
We are the custodian of our democracy. We are the ones to question our political leaders. They go on the platform. When they go on the platform, you cannot ask them questions. They have their hyper, they have their show, they dancing, they have their music. If you go and ask them questions, the supporters beating you up. You can't ask them questions. We have a medium and we ask questions. And the close people around this party, you must know we will not stop asking these questions. Look at what going on in New York with Rohan Hamdani or Ramdani, how you call it? Mandani. Now you have to go in front Trump. After he shout out all kind of communism, and you have to go in front Trump like a baby. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Now, the God that created man, and he knows man's heart, he gave us a warning. You see, a lot of people, they don't read the Bible. They don't study the Bible. But they like to talk. Our Heavenly Father gave us a strict warning. In Jeremiah 17:5, he tells us, "Cursed be the man who put his trust in man." Therefore, we have not to trust any man. Every one of us should question when a man come to you speaking smooth words, because this is another warning that the scripture gave us. He tells us some will come speaking smooth words while laying a snare in the heart, right? And I experienced that throughout my life. So we should not be putting our trust in man when man come and they speak smooth words for us. We have to check out the individual, question them, know who and what we're dealing with. We had this experience in this country, we're having it now. How many times must we fall before we learn? It is time, it is overdue. Mr. Pierre, have a good day, sir.
Yes, scholar. And a snare is a trap. A snare is a trap. You cannot have Peter David is launching a new political party. For over a year, Peter David was on the ground with the movement. But every time you ask, what is the policy of the movement? The movement. What is the direction of the movement? The movement. You cannot follow Peter David path and don't trust him now without asking questions. Yes, caller, welcome.
Pleasant morning to you, my dear brother, and the listeners.
Yes, my brother. Good to hear your voice.
Well, we have so much to discuss. I want to echo the sentiments you expressed about no respect for institutions. And you know, sometimes I wonder, where are all the folks? Where are all the people that just to make noise when every little thing happens, they jump up, all the NGOs, the churches and all of that. Look, the previous government organized 2 referendums, and the purpose of the referendum was to make amendments to the Constitution. The people in their own way, they said no. They said they didn't want anyone to touch the Constitution. And I could understand why they said so, because they remember in 1979 when this gang of thugs came into office. One of the first assaults was on the Constitution, where they suspended the Constitution. And as a result of that, thousands of people died without getting their pension because they suspended the Pension and Gratuity Act, and they weren't able to get it. This government now, ignoring the wishes of the people, not on one occasion, on 2 occasions, and in the spirit of the law, it says that any amendment to our Constitution must go to a referendum. I don't know where this guy come out here. He believes he's the brightest lawyer that God ever made. He just removed the pledge from the Constitution and saying that you do not need a referendum. I mean, in the spirit of the thing, the law didn't say you could take out a part and take out a piece and all of that. It says in a holistic way that any adjustments to the Constitution must be left to the people. And the people voted twice and they said no. They said no. They didn't want anybody to interfere with it at this time. Why can't the people's wishes, at least the wishes of the people, be heard? But he chose to feel that he's above the people. He believed that he has become the master. Now, I look at the meeting in Telescope on Sunday, and I saw people dancing and caring, and I'm wondering, well, what all this dancing about? Why are you coming in Telescope and being so merry? I was of the opinion, and maybe I'm wrong, that if you're coming into Telescope, it's your first visit to Telescope. Since through your negligence, the whole of Telescope could have been wiped out with the unstable explosive materials that was transported from Point Saline into Telescope, detonated prematurely, causing serious damage to buildings and people. When you come into Telescope, you should show some remorse. It's not a time for you to be dancing and all of that. Now I listen to the various speakers, and the Minister of Agriculture. Sometimes I don't want to go heavy on him just yet because sometimes I feel for him. He spent all his time on a podium, and it's the second time he did it because he was in Grenville Cinema talking about latrines, how much latrines they build and how much box drains they build. This is the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries. I was of the opinion that coming to Telescope, a fishing village, with the country facing a fishing ban come January 1, I was of the opinion that the government would use that occasion to update the fishermen and fisher folks in the country as to what the situation is. They went to Parliament and they amended the Fisheries Act. But as of now, fishermen have yet to know what the new law is all about. In that new law, there are steep penalties up to $100,000 and up to 5-10 years in prison if you violate the law. But have we sat with the fishermen to update them on what the new law is? Have the government made any effort to assist fishermen in refitting their boats so as to meet the U.S. compliance? Come January 1, Grenada would not be able to export fish. We have to put in a new application. Has the government worked along with fisher folks, helping them to meet that so that we be in a situation where we will be ready? So on January 2nd, we can put in a new application and pray that we get applications speedily. And speaking of speedily, I would have thought too that the fact that the government of the United States made a request to the government of Grenada to allow them to install some radar equipment. The Prime Minister was out there bragging. He said yes, he received the request since in August, and he said the U.S. gave him a timeline, and he was bragging and saying, well, the time has passed, and he did not respond to them. And I'm wondering though, come January 2nd, when we put in our application for approval to start exporting fish again, I wonder if it would be fair for the United States to drag their feet on our application as we doing on theirs, knowing that we receiving $40 million from the exportation of fish. I heard the Prime Minister calling Randall Robinson to the podium, and I said, great, Randall Robinson going to give some update as to the situation in the Postal Corporation Because as it stands now, we can ship small parcels and boxes to the USA. So it means that our people in Sobeys that ship in sea moss and those in Munich that used to ship
Clove and spice
and all of that, right? They are unable to do so. I started feeling, I say, yes, man, there's a breakthrough in that, and Robinson's coming to give us an update. The Prime Minister is calling Robinson on stage to talk about music and whether Robinson know the young people music and start playing and such stupidness and dancing in the face of seriousness that he's supposed to be dealing with. I don't know, my brother, but I believe the people of Grenada should start asking serious questions of the elected officials. If the government of Grenada, if the Prime Minister is refusing to discuss the matter, they should approach their parliamentary representative for answers. This is serious time. January 1 is not 6 months away, you know. January 1 is a month and something away. And it is time that the people, the fishermen of Grenada, the people in the coastal villages, get answers as to what is happening in their industry. You can't just pass laws that carry stiff penalties without the people that involved in the industry knowing their plight. And finally, I want to say, I find that the NDC supporters are getting so jittery. Anytime you say something or you post something that they're not in agreement with, they are not attacking the message. They're going after the messenger. It seemed to me as if we have the state of politics have got to the point where we're becoming like North Korea. Like they want a one-party state. Things are happening. Yes, things are happening, and you must not say what is happening. Because when you're talking about things happening and you're going to jump on a platform and talk about Dongfomlin housing project as your accomplishment,
it's not yours.
I have to take strong objection to that. Yeah. Dongfomlin project is an existing project. You can't talk about that. If you say that you have continued on that and you make some improvement, then I would say okay. So I think this government, it lacks initiative, it lacks vision, and the people have to start registering, because I'm not so sure we could take another 5 years of this nonsense. Thank you, brother.
Yes, my brother, well said. Issue. I am very firm and very strong in asking questions, particularly to the new entity. Deacon, we agree, has been a compulsive liar, a fake, a vulture, a poor people terrorist. And there's no question about that. I would love to see the back of him and his gang. He and his group of thieves. They raid the Grenada Development Bank. That ought not to be. They flaunted the law, rules, and regulation and gave millions of dollars to themselves. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, man.
You know, I realize some people are really out of touch.
You answering me, you responding to me any question I ask you, or you just bypassing it?
No, you see, because let me tell
all
you.
Right, go ahead, say what you're saying. Go and say what you're saying.
It's so sad that after all...
What the people on touch, if you say people are out of touch, please tell us. Why?
Out of touch with reality, out of touch with the norms of the day.
Like what? Give us some examples. Educate us.
Hold on, Mr. Pierre. You know, I'm quite capable of doing
I have to seriously doubt your capabilities. My brother, I start to seriously doubt your capabilities.
No, that's up to you. I think thousands of other people would not agree with you because I've proven that over the years.
Go ahead.
And
go ahead.
You know, when you go to Bible school to study theology, and which
I've never been studying theology. I don't have a clue about that.
Right. So
we don't know about that.
Did you do any study of politics?
Never do study of politics.
Did you study psychobarometrics?
Never. Bonjour. What you call that? Psychobarometrics.
Right.
That's a big. What do you mean by that?
No, hold on.
What do you mean by? Well, tell me. What do you mean by psychobarometrics?
I want to make my substantive point.
Yeah, but you asked
a question.
It's kind of
asking you. I did not. I am asking you questions.
What you mean by psychobarometrics?
There will come the time when I will explain that in its entirety. But I called.
But we don't have time for this massive explanation.
Hold on. Now the point I'm making, and I really want people to really get it. I don't think people understand what a person that's involved in politics. They too can also be a statesman. No, a politician.
You want to tell us what is a statesman?
I've explained it many times.
No, come on, man.
But again, yes, I could tell you what is a statesman.
Well, yes, tell us what is a
statesman. Let me explain what is a statesman. Is someone who have the heart of the people, who don't look at political lines, but at the end of the day, the country benefit. They have that priority to pass the butter on. Be it through education, social, the spiritual needs, and all that stuff. That is what a statesman concerned about. In other words, a statesman, yes, involved in politics, but the long-term goal of the statesman is to make sure that his or her country is empowered and they are armed with the facilities, the knowledge, the know-how to go on and to further Grenada, in this case, Grenada as a country.
Hold on a while.
Mm-hmm.
One of the Google's definition, an experienced and respected senior political leader or figure. An experienced and respected senior political leader or figure. That is
one of the.
Look at the next one. Listen to this one. A man who is a respected leader in national or international affairs. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead.
Right. And I know a person as you're offended with the word underpending. They are underpending of a nation or the foundation principles. Now, if you look at that from theological point of view,
I tell you, I don't know nothing about theology.
So that's why I'm here now, to teach you and to show you certain principles. So that's what I'm saying here. Based upon those research, it shows, because respect have a lot to do with how you treat your society, your country, the welfare, how you nurture it, how you take care of it, how you manage it, right? How you also respect yourself and the supreme authority that governs, right? In terms of, we all do have a supreme authority, which is the Most High, and we respect that. No, the point I'm getting here at...
Get to the point,
Since before Deacon Mitchell was in politics, he's always been doing things for Grenada silently.
Deacon is a lunatic. He's a political lunatic. He's a compulsive liar. He is a master deceiver. Big man is Deacon there playing with man and massaging that which is a wrong man. You could call him a statesman.
Mr. Pierre,
come on.
Mr. Pierre, would you
stop
let me
that.
Explain?
What you're doing is just wasting people time.
I'm educating you.
Caller, you're not educating me now. Let me tell you what you're doing. How could you tolerate Deacon, a compulsive liar? He lied to every sector of our economy or of our country. They're lying people. How do you agree with Deacon going in the public and playing with word and making movie with it? How do you accept Deacon? You said Deacon's a statesman. He go on a stage and he cussing people. How would you agree with that?
Mr. Pierre, a person who fulfills 70% of the manifesto, would you call that a liar?
Deacon is a political lunatic, is a compulsive liar.
I'm asking you a question.
He's a vulture.
Would you disagree with me that he fulfills 70% of what he promised in the manifesto?
Deacon is a liar. You can't trust him. He's a compulsive liar.
No, I'm not asking you to trust him.
You're wasting people time. Deacon is a compulsive liar. We should not tolerate a political leader that tell lies like that. He went on a stage and encouraged young people to use obscenities. He went in St. Lucia and he washed his dirty linen in public and insulted the elders in his party. Deacon considered some Grenadians, as classless and commoners and beggy. What statement Deacon is? Deacon gone in the public after he said morality is a private thing. He go playing with that which is around man neck. Go quiet in Africa massaging people hand. How he come statesman? Yes, scholar, welcome.
Hello.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre. Um, I know definitely that on this side we do stand for the right, and I think just now what happened to the caller, that whether he cut off or you had to cut him off because we do not want people to drain our mental energies. And that is very good. This man is just obnoxious on the radio. He's trying to ask you questions as it relates to definition of terms and terminologies. How qualifies he to say 70% of a manifesto was completed when almost 3.5 years the world knows it? And thanks to technology, as well as we have seen it with our own eyes, far and wide, that the Deacon Mitchell NDC administration sat on projects and plans and did nothing and make up an analogy or a narrative to fool the Grenadian people once more that things are happening. The biggest question is what is happening? You know,
I gave the caller the
they
option to tell me 5 things that is happening. He can tell me 5 things.
They would not. They never answer questions. They tell so much lies that they even forget sometimes that they tell lies. And when you correct them, they get very arrogant on the issues. This is not a democracy. And if Deacon would have said something about what people on the other side are enemies of progress. Democracy is progress. It enables us to progress as a people in all forms. So I don't understand how much more confusing the Grenadian people are to not see that this man is even more confused than them.
The
So the
man is a
best thing for them
fake.
to do is to get rid of him. He's a complete fake, another total fake, a complete fake. He's no example for the youth. He disrespects the people, just as his friend Ralph Gonzalez in St. Vincent. And the people laugh and chant and shout for it as if it is something normal. This is not normal times in Grenada. Grenadians, get on your knees, open your eyes, open your ears, listen to the conversations of them sometimes 3 and 4 times. Play it back in your conscience. Make sure what you're listening to is conscience, because if you waste your time on this earth, you all would pay the price. Your children and your future generation would pay the pretty price.
Yes, scholar.
All right.
Yes, scholar, thank you. We cannot, Deacon is the Prime Minister of Grenada. He have to set examples. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar.
I want you to tell KG that mud does destroy gold. Thank you.
You cannot have a Prime Minister that incites violence. The upsurge in violence in Grenada is as a direct relationship of the NDC attitude. Yes, scholar, welcome. A direct relationship of the attitude. You are the Attorney General. She's a woman jumping up and saying, shoot police, Bobo. Yes, scholar.
I am the voice of one crying out.
You have
in
a
the
medium
wilderness.
to cry, man.
How are you,
I
senior?
use with the last scholar.
Yes, senior. Senior, I want to beg the Prime Minister, Honorable Deacon Mitchell, to please pay attention to the people in Clocher and the situation that they are facing as it relates to the road situation. Mr. Prime Minister, it is bad for the people in Clocher. Please, do something with this village. The farmers are suffering. The children going to school are suffering. It is in a mess in Clocher.
Mr. Prime Minister, I'm asking you, please, sir, to do something for the homeless people in Carriacou and Pitimatnik. Mr. Prime Minister, while you took money and buy 15 vehicles, are you aware of the situation in closure, sir? Mr. Prime Minister Dickon Mitchell, while you took money, taxpayers' money that could help the people in closure, are you aware, Mr. Prime Minister, that there are people on the island of Carriacou and Pitimatnik that is still living on the tent? If you do not know that, Mr. Prime Minister, get that information from Mr. Tevin Andrew. Mr. Prime Minister, are you aware that the people in Pitimatnik, in this boating and fishing community, are suffering because they do not have the help and the assistance to put the boat back on the water? Mr. Prime Minister, this money that you wasted to buy this 15 vehicle, are you aware, Mr. Prime Minister, that that is corruption? Mr. Prime Minister, do you aware that this is a part of corruption? I'm asking you, please, Mr. Prime Minister, have a heart.
Yeah.
God bless.
Yes,
Senior.
scholar. Yes, scholar. Thank you very much. That was our last caller for the day. The callers begging Deacon, stop begging Deacon, give up. Are begging Richard Duncan. Richard Duncan was a well-respected public officer. Gloria Payne Banfield, Miss Isaac, a number of them. But Richard Duncan I would put also in their group. And Richard Duncan was in charge of work. And he was in charge of work to monitor the government economic discipline. So if Richard Duncan is among this crew now, he has a reputation, he has a credibility. You can let down the country. You cannot have a prime minister squandering the public funds like that, accepting gifts. We consider it as bribery because he has not been given ready information on those gifts. Flying all over the world. Just come out in Taraba State. Now we have Christians being killed down there. There are so much pertinent issues that have not been addressed. And you want to claim the Prime Minister is statesman. How the Prime Minister could be a statesman when you're encouraging children, young people to use obscenities? You know weed is illegal. You know that. In the presence of the police. In a home, I understand that the police had as a suspect. You go and make movie with an illegal substance. I had to talk to 3 of my young friends. Get them to pull out playing with weed on, folding up weed on social media. We have an upsurge in crime in Grenada. One of you ministers say he cost the police, he beat in his chest. Now he rejoicing. Win, lose, or draw, he fix for life. This sister from Gov, very disrespectful to the police. She is rewarded over $600,000 in she bank account. One of the close, high-ranking associate of the NDC want to buy a property, $1 million and something, you want to buy cash. You receive $118 million for the hurricane burial. Why is it the people still struggling for little things? 118 million, money is not your problem. I believe that no matter how good your institutions are, if you don't have people with integrity, if we don't have a free press to call on people to walk the straight and narrow, in the twinkling of an eye, you corrupt your institution. I have called on the directors of the Grenada Development Bank to resign. Instead of resigning, They're robbing the money in the bank. They're taking the money illegally because the regulations say they should not take the money. The government could have gone to Parliament and make new regulation and say politicians could get money. It would not have been ethical. It would not have been moral, but it would have been legal. The government behave as common thieves, and they raid the Grenada Development Bank. Richard Duncan, how you could let that happen to the National Lottery? Oh, come on, Richard. They fired the whistleblower, Mr. Lacret. The information we have on the ground, he lay before Deacon credible evidence of corruption. He was fired. Richard Duncan, I would have called on Ray and the others, but they don't want to hear me. And you know I have a lot of respect for you, you know. So why would you let our country go back in free fall? When the NDC was there in 2008, 2013, they were selling property to meet current expenditure. They sold property that didn't belong to them. Look at you have them now squandering the public purse. The purchase of these vehicles is a corrupt act. And I thought, KJ, next time when you call, do the research and find out for me how much money Deacon getting. I understand it's approximately $50,000 a month. And he's the poorest performing public officer in the country. The majority of the time, he's out of the country. When he's not out, he's preparing to go out. When he's not out, he's preparing to come in. What happened to us? We're going to corrupt the entire public service. The public officer is going to say, well, why must I beat up myself? Now, if we continue like that, we're going to destroy our own country. And then we're blaming people. We're going to tear down the guardrails. We're going to dismantle the economic discipline. Nobody's speaking about productivity in the country. No government minister speaking about productivity because they're not able to set an example. What we hearing is bribery. And while I'm on it, I ask the people in the diaspora, next time you see Deacon or anyone in ministers, ask them about Deborah Charles. Great injustice has been done to her by the parliamentary representative of St. Andrews Northwest. We're back with you tomorrow between 12 and 1, and we continue our discussion. We always try to speak the truth and stick with the truth, and we encourage you to correct us anytime you feel we're going out of line. Please correct us. Thank you very much.
When the clock hits 12, you know where to be. Turn it up, Real FM, ride the frequency. Talking truth, talking change, talking all that's real. With Francis Pierre at the wheel. Politics to faith, the latest trend.